CrowdStrike patch issue that you're all familiar with. All critical sectors in the economy were impacted, including governments, banks, hospitals, aviation, and more. I was updated around 12 a.m., then again at 1 a.m. I declared an emergency around 3 a.m. Friday, and I directed our emergency management director to mobilize our city bureaus and agencies at the city's emergency operations center. Our bureaus of emergency management and technology services immediately began investigating as well as remediating all of our city systems. We have 487 systems, 266 of which were impacted. We now have about half of those systems corrected. I want to be crystal clear that life-saving services of police and fire were not interrupted. No 911 calls were interrupted. Internal systems were affected, and Bureau of Emergency Communication call takers had to work manually overnight for several hours, and I want to thank them for that. But as of 6 a.m., those issues were resolved, and they were back on the computer-aided dispatch system. We're still investigating lower priority business functions, but we're slowly bringing all of our servers back online. We're also working with businesses and other government districts in our region to assist where we can and coordinate.
Thank you, Mayor. So as you can imagine, we're getting a lot of updates throughout the day. So I'm going to pass it over to Shad Ahmed. He's the director of the Portland Bureau of Emergency Management. We also have Rashid Newall here, who's the Chief Resilience Officer. And I'll let you guys provide some updates.
Thanks, Cody. Good morning, everyone. Just as the mayor said last night, I'll just kind of walk you through a quick rundown of the timeline here. So at 10:44 p.m. last night, we were alerted to an issue that was initially reported as locally affecting our 911 and police systems. Further investigation revealed the wider impact that we now know as the global CrowdStrike patch incident. And following the mayor, echoing what the mayor said, immediately contingency plans were put into place. These are contingency plans that we exercise routinely, regularly. They become second nature for all of our dispatchers and emergency responders. So it wasn't something that, there was an interruption or a disruption in service. So immediately those contingency plans were put into place to address any impacts to public safety systems. Stressing that at no time were 911 calls impacted. These were mostly all internal systems and databases that we use to track those calls. So the manual mode operation went into place. That was a contingency plan. We were able to continue life safety functions responding to emergency calls. As the mayor said, all critical sectors are affected. This is affecting everybody globally. So we've been in continuous contact with our partners here in the city to make sure that the mayor directed us to provide support to those agencies, districts, and partners. So we've been working with, for example, Port of Portland. We worked with their emergency management folks as well. And so we now know that the ground stoppage from overnight was lifted. There may be some prolonged delays there. So that's back and up and running. We've been working with banks, hospitals. There have been some impacts to some of our hospital systems, but no life safety or patient care functions were interrupted. So we moved the city immediately at the mayor's direction into an activation of our emergency operations center. We started coordinating all city resources centrally, making sure that all critical functions were up and running or restored pretty quickly. So stressing no life safety impacts. There were no impacts to emergency response. And as the mayor said, lower priority systems are slowly being brought online. So I want to make a quick special call out as well, especially to our local business community. Our federal partners are reminding us that there is a potential for criminal actors to exploit this vulnerability by impersonating the vendors, where the patch is being disseminated from. The company's name is CrowdStrike. So they're impersonating CrowdStrike staff, potential for that. So we urge all businesses to remain vigilant and not respond to unsolicited communications from unknown contacts. There's no known impacts from that at the moment, just stressing, but this is just something to remain vigilant about. So we continue to gain clarity on how our supporting technology was affected throughout the day. We expect more updates just from our internal systems. We continue to prioritize public safety and infrastructure and just ensuring continuity of operations. Richard Nirwal, who is here with me, is our Chief Resilience Officer and has managed our continuity program and can speak to any potential updates in the few minutes that we've been dealing with this on another one. So, Richard, if you want to talk about anything specific that may be new, I'll pass it off to you.
I would just add that through our technology services department, we have expanded the recovery operations. So we are prioritizing, as Shad pointed out, our public safety bureaus and followed by infrastructure bureaus. So we have established a internal recovery center at the Portland building where city employees can go in and get their devices checked in if that's what's needed. So we are trying to, all our resources are being directed to a quick and efficient recovery. That's all.
Thanks, Richard. I see a question in the chat. Cody, is it okay if I just jump right in?
Yeah, let's open it up to questions. We can start with the AP's question. That'd be great.
Great. Yeah, manual mode is a process where dispatchers like I said, they process this, they know this. We have forms and paper that they just track calls on. Similarly, within police and fire bureaus, they do the same thing. So again, like I said, it's exercised routinely. They didn't have to make this up. It's something that they plan for.
Thanks. Let's move on to Emily Gersh. Emily, who's your question for?
Yeah, I'm not sure if my question is for the mayor or for
No problem.
Shad. But I am just wondering, does the city of Portland have a plan in place should an event like this happen?
Yeah, I can take that. So yeah, we do. It's our continuity of government, continuity of operations plan that Richard manages for us. So this was actually a really seamless process for us because of that plan being in place. We were able to direct our Bureau of Technology Services with the priorities that we've pre-identified. So we didn't have to do investigation in the moment of what do we prioritize and what do we do. We've already planned for and we've exercised this. So it was a seamless process to prioritize what we needed to.
Shad, if I could also just jump in here. First of all, we are prepared for cyber attacks. We obviously regularly have outside influencers trying to gain access to our proprietary systems, so there's nothing new there. One thing that did work in our favor here was we fairly quickly were notified that there was a problem with the patch, so we were able to fairly quickly diagnose the problem.
When is the last time this plan was updated and what is the financial impact?
So Richard, you want to talk about the update?
The plans are updated. There's, as Shad pointed out, there are essential functions, service that we identify in these plans, and they're checked. These plans are exercised annually. In terms of financial impact, it's still an evolving situation. I'm not sure at the moment I have a figure available to share, but that's something that we can look into. But these plans are exercised annually and updated as and when anything changes in the bureaus.
And just to clarify, if you're talking about financial impact of the incident, I'm assuming versus the planning process, that's something that's again still evolving.
Thanks, Shad. Let's go to Amanda with Coin.
Hi, I'm with CBS News now, actually. And my question is, it seems, yeah, it seems the city of Portland is the only city to have issued an emergency declaration related to the Microsoft outage, at least that I've seen so far. Is the outage having a greater impact on Portland than it is on other major cities? Is that something you know or you're able to share with us?
Yeah, that's actually no, this is a global impact, and there are sectors that are equally impacted from government to other critical infrastructures. The emergency declaration for the city is more of a mechanism of mobilizing the resources that we need. There's a lot of nuance there between labor contracts and other mechanisms that the emergency declaration allows us to activate. So especially this being overnight, that was a you know, a big help for that. And also it was a clear direction from the mayor that we prioritize the, you know, public safety functions. It was a very clear directive that allowed us to move forward with that clarity.
Perfect. All right, let's go to Willamette Week.
Hey there, this is Sophie Peel. I think this is probably actually, I'm not sure who this question is best directed towards, but two quick ones. I think Mayor Wheeler, you had mentioned that about half of the city's systems that were affected have been fixed since. Are there one or two systems that the city is particularly concerned about being disrupted that could really affect sort of daily city functions?
So I'll start, and then Shad, maybe you can do the follow on. My primary concern was obviously first response, police and fire. Those were my priority areas in the early hours of the morning. That's where the focus initially was, but as we've seen police and fire coming back online, we're also starting to go to lower priority systems. But Shad, I'll also defer to you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are, in addition to critical life safety systems that are back on, all of our critical enterprise-wide functions, everything that deals with how we do finance to payroll to everything like that, those are all online as well. The immediate restoration priorities, again, as we directed from the Emergency Operations Center, were to address those critical, not only life safety functions, which we put first, but also those critical business functions. So as a city, we're in a pretty good shape right now as far as the response goes. A lot of those servers are secondary functions or something that are potentially not, critical to everyday operations. So we're working on those now.
Okay, all right, thanks. And then quick second question. So you had mentioned the potential of sort of criminal activity amidst this outage, especially for businesses. Has the city experienced or isolated like any of these criminal attempts that were targeted towards them?
Yeah, so that's something again that it's an evolving situation. So we're advising all of our internal employees to be on alert for that. I don't think I can speak to right now what we have in as a city what we have experienced. Right now we're just advising our business partners and other government agencies to just be mindful of that and be vigilant.
So as far as you guys know, there's been no attempts, like there's been no callers who have posed as something they're not.
I'm not going to be able to speak to that at this time. I think that's something that we can get back to you on with further information.
Okay, thank you.
All right, all. Thank you so much for joining this last minute. We need to get the mayor out of here. He has another meeting. If you have any follow-up questions, I'll put the email address here in the chat, and that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.